Ambassador Chen Wei stood before the Galactic Council's towering crystalline assembly, her hands clasped behind her back as she delivered humanity's final words to the stars. The vast chamber, carved from a single asteroid and suspended in the void between galaxies, had witnessed 1,000 species pledge their allegiance to the Council's iron rule. Today it would witness the first to walk away. The Terran Federation formally withdraws from the Galactic Council, effective immediately, Chen announced, her voice carrying across the chamber's perfect acoustics to reach every delegate from the aquatic depths of Kepler 442b to the silicon-based architects of the Vega system. A collective gasp rippled through the assembly. The Zephyrian Chancellor, a being of pure energy contained within a metallic exoskeleton, flickered with what could only be described as shock. Ambassador Chen, surely you understand the implications of this decision. No species has ever left the Council and survived. Chen's expression remained steady. We understand perfectly, Chancellor. That's exactly why we're leaving. The human delegation had arrived 3 cycles ago for what everyone assumed would be routine proceedings, another subjugated species accepting their place in the cosmic order. Humanity had been invited to join after their recent breakthrough in faster-than-light travel, a technology the Council claimed to regulate for the good of all civilizations. But Chen remembered the private meeting with the Hegemony Prime, the Council's enforcement arm. She remembered their demands. Humanity would surrender their FTL technology, submit to population controls, and provide 30% of their agricultural output to feed the more evolved species. In return, they would receive protection and the privilege of existing under Council oversight. The Council has maintained peace for 10,000 years, the ethereal commune's representative whispered, their translucent form shimmering with anxiety. Your species is young, Ambassador. You do not understand the chaos that exists beyond our protection. Chen smiled, an expression that made several delegates uncomfortable. Humans were one of the few species that showed their teeth when pleased, a trait that others found distinctly predatory. You're right about one thing, she said. We are young enough to remember what freedom tastes like. The Arcturus Collective's delegate, a massive insectoid creature, clicked its mandibles in what passed for laughter among their kind. And what will you do when the Voidstalkers find your unprotected worlds? When the Crimson Fleet descends upon your colonies? The Council's protection is not charity, it is necessity. We've read the files you provided, Chen replied calmly. Every one of these so-called threats was created by the Council itself. The Voidstalkers? Former Council members who rebelled and were transformed into monsters through your rehabilitation. Technology. The Crimson Fleet? Pirates using Council surplus weapons, operating in territories the Council deliberately keeps lawless to justify its expansion. A stunned silence fell over the chamber. Chen continued, her voice gaining strength. But what truly convinced us to leave wasn't your protection racket. It was something we discovered in our archaeological surveys of dead civilizations that mysteriously fell silent shortly after joining the Council. She activated a holographic display that filled the center of the chamber. Images of barren worlds, empty cities, and automated facilities floated in the air. 17 different species, all Council members, all reduced to ghost worlds where only their technology remains, cranking out resources for the Council's elite. Not a single living being left on any of them. The Chancellor's energy field fluctuated wildly. Those worlds were lost to natural disasters, cosmic phenomena beyond our control. Natural disasters that left every mining operation, every factory, every resource extraction facility completely intact? Chen's voice carried across the suddenly silent chamber. Natural disasters that somehow avoided damaging any infrastructure useful to the Council? The truth hung in the air like a weapon. You've built your empire on the corpses of civilizations, Chen continued. You offer protection from threats you create, then slowly drain each species until nothing remains but their industrial capacity. And you've done it so gradually, so carefully, that each generation forgets what their ancestors sacrificed. The Hegemony Prime's representative finally spoke, their voice carrying the authority of absolute power. Even if your accusations were true, Ambassador, what would you have us do? The universe is chaos. Order requires sacrifice. The needs of the many. The needs of the many? Chen interrupted. Or the greed of the few? She gestured to her aide, who began broadcasting a signal to every human ship in the galaxy. Humanity chooses chaos over chains. We choose the uncertainty of freedom over the certainty of extinction, and we're not going quietly into the dark. The signal reached its destination. Across the galaxy, human colonies that had been secretly preparing for this moment began to move. Hidden shipyards unveiled fleets that should have been impossible for such a young species to construct. Defensive platforms emerged from asteroid fields where they had been camouflaged for months. You see, Chen explained as warning alerts began flashing throughout the council chamber, humans have a peculiar trait. When we're threatened, we don't submit, we prepare, and we share. More signals activated. Species the Council thought extinct began transmitting from hidden colonies. Civilizations that had supposedly fallen to natural disasters revealed themselves, their populations secretly evacuated and protected by human fleets. For the past 2 years, we've been making contact with your former members. Turns out reports of their extinctions were greatly exaggerated. The chamber erupted into chaos as delegates realized the scope of humanity's actions. But Chen wasn't finished. Today, the Terran Federation, along with 47 other species, announces the formation of the Free Worlds Alliance. We invite any civilization tired of council tyranny to join us. As her words echoed through the chamber, Chen smiled one last time at the stunned assembly. You can keep your protection. We choose to protect ourselves. The day humanity left, the Council was the day the universe learned that some species would rather die free than live in chains. It was also the day the galaxy discovered that humans, when properly motivated, could teach an old universe some very new tricks. The rebellion that followed would be called the War of 1,000 Suns. But that's another story.